Hello.
It's a beautiful day out in the yard. We're gonna get out and play.
Here are the anchor plates all down on the foundation tubes. We spent about 3 or 4 hours getting the corners and the sides square, and now these foundation posts are all 6 foot apart and the polytunnel is 20 foot wide. So we're just going to spray round the anchor plates and then we can start digging holes, and then we will put the anchor plates with the tubes attached back into the holes and backfill them with concrete. Here's Ben just spraying around the anchor plates so that we can take them off and know where to dig. He hasn't done this before. You can see what an expert he is. He learns very quickly. So we're just digging out the holes with an auger to try and reduce the amount that we're digging out with a spade.
It's a beautiful day out in the yard. We're gonna get out and play.
This is Ben, and I did want him to explain what we're doing, but he's too shy. So he'll have
busy
to.
Joel, you know.
He'll have to
disrupt a man when he's working.
Sorry, I know it's very annoying having people filming you when you're doing important work. I'll have to get Bill. His name's Ben. I'll have to get him to film me doing some work, which is very rare. Don't often do much work, and I'll explain what we're doing. But basically, without Ben in the shot, we are making sure that the holes are the correct depth for the tubes, and making sure the bottom of the holes are big enough that we can maneuver the plates around to make sure the poles are level, because if you can't move the plate, then you can't move the tube, and then you can't get it level. And this is one that is level, in the right place. We want them all to be in the right place and level. So we're just putting the anchor plates in the bottom. They've got a clamp either side of them. Tighten them up, and then we have straightened the tubes so that they're level, and then we will fill with concrete. Well, postcrete to be exact. But do you want me to do it because of the stuff?
Gorgeous.
Can you find that little bamboo pole? Ready? No, I can do it.
To lose.
Out of 20. It's Wednesday the 21st of February, day 42, week 15, and we are, that's me and Ben, putting up the polytunnel. We're just finishing off one side of the foundations. It's been a pretty wet and murky couple of days, but we've got a lovely evening this evening, and we're just trying to finish off these last 2 holes just have to get the posts in at just the right height, and they have to be all lined up with each other, and they have to be vertical. So there's quite a few different things to get right. And then when we get onto this second side, we are going to have to make sure that this line is exactly 20 foot from the first line. So that's going to be another thing that we'll have to measure to get right, although I may be doing that on my own. But you can see the shape of the polytunnel starting to take shape, and it all looks pretty straight at the moment. It's taken, I guess, about 2 days to get to this stage, which considering this is the first time I've done it, I think the second time Ben's done it, although neither of us have done concreting in or anchor plates on the bottom. I think we're doing pretty well. So really nice to finish with a windless sunny evening. Health and safety. Health and safety. Oh, sorry, I get you. Hi, it's Monday the 5th of March, it's day 43, and I've just got back to the farm and I'm gonna start working on the polytunnel. It's a sizzling 9 degrees, which is a massive rise in temperature after freezing conditions and several centimeters of snow. So it's nice that the wind has dropped, it's warm, and I'm gonna get on with some work. On this side, I've still got to dig out the square holes for the anchor plates and then get the posts, the foundation tubes in place. This is where we got up to last week. We have 10 foundation poles in the ground, and we've got anchor plates and a bit of concrete in the bottom, so they are pretty stable, not moving. Those should all be in a straight line, as you can see by the string line, and all we need to make sure now is that these ones on the other side are level and that they are the same distance apart. So these should all be 20 foot from that side, and the whole thing is 54 foot long. So I'm going to start digging these holes out square. I'm going to fill this first hole in so that I can measure from it. It's a bit difficult on my own to measure from this this tube across to the other one, and then I can also take a level on it. So this is the tricky thing, got to get this square hole the size of the plate, and the centre, the tube's got to be, well, this is 3 tubes away, so that'll be 18 foot. There's also got to be 20 foot from there, and the whole thing's got to be square. So just trying to line them all up before cementing them in. Once I'm sure that that pole, that foundation tube is in the right corner, then it will be easier to measure down in intervals of 6 foot. But it's getting the first one right that is pretty crucial. only another 8 of these to go. So I need to make sure that the anchor plate fits in the bottom, and ideally can move around a bit in case I need to do any last adjustments. And the tube needs to be the same height as the other one, which is not, it's too low, so I've dug out too much. Interesting what you find when you go down far enough. So it's the afternoon of the 5th of March. I haven't made much progress, but I was expecting that to be the case, working on my own, trying to get these levels. But I think we're ready to, well, I'm gonna fill all the other holes. That will make it easier to measure across. Then I'm gonna put this post in, cement it in, and that should make it then easier to measure up all the others. But my main worry is making sure that this is at a right angle to that other one, because if it's not, then they'll all be a bit out. But looks like it's okay. I've just measured the 2 diagonals and they're pretty close, so I think we're good to go. So that is all the holes filled in on the first side of the polytunnel. So I better get on with the next side, which I think I'm avoiding doing, because once I've put this corner post in, that sets everything up for the rest of the tunnel, and I don't want to get it wrong. So here goes. Hello. So just leveling this up, and hopefully you can see that red dot, and that is the point, the same height when I put this on the other post. So I've labelled it A1, which should mean that these posts are the same height, so I can put that in there. This is also on the midpoint, which should mean that that is square. And when I bring this across, just need to check it's level. When I level it up, 20 foot is in the middle, so that that should be okay. I think I've just blinded myself with the laser, so I better turn that off. So that should be okay. I'm going to get another clamp to put above the plate. 1, 2, now 4:20, so got about an hour left. I've got a feeling the other clamp has gone into the soil, but I'm fairly happy with that. I mean, I could check the diagonals. Maybe I should just do that once more, and then it's just I haven't got a post on this diagonal. I'll have to put another one in temporarily, but that would be confirmation that this square is a square and not a parallelogram. I know it's not the most exciting video watching someone put nuts on screws, or bolts I guess these are. but maybe this will be useful to somebody who's putting up a polytunnel in the future. Just show you what I'm doing. So that's what's happening in the bottom. Morning. It's a slightly chilly morning, but warmer than it has been. I guess it's maybe 4 or 5 degrees. I'm going to be digging holes this morning and putting in foundation poles so that we can then move on to putting the hoops up. So here are the holes at the moment. That was the last one in that line that we did, just to get make sure we were in the right line. So I've got these 4 holes here which have had the auger take out the center, and I'm just going to square them off. Well, this is an exciting moment. I've just measured the diagonals and they're both 57 foot and 3 inches, which is pretty amazing. I was dreading it being out by more than 5 centimeters. That would have caused a big headache. Anyway, so I can now go ahead and get this last corner post in, concrete it in, and then should be easier to get the other 8 posts in. I've just about got this last post, which is the 10th post on the second side, which I'm calling B10. Just got that level straight, so it needs to be 54 feet from that end, it needs to be 20 feet from that end, it also needs to be upright on the level, and it also needs to be the same height as the other poles. So getting those all the same, getting them all correct at the right time simultaneously is quite hard. Anyway, I think that one's done, so it's time to put the cement in. Hi, it's Tuesday evening. Just been into Peterborough and back. It's a really beautiful sunset, and it's been very windless all day, which is a novelty. The sun even came out, so this is all good. It's lovely to be out when it's warm and not windy. Sort of making good progress with the Polytunnel, but I've come up against a bit of a problem. We made a mistake last week in not getting these poles all level, which means these ones are now not level. So the whole square should be level at the same level, but it's not. So you can see this one is at that string level, these ones are under the string level, so this could create problems when I put the hoops up. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. So I'm now going to put these last 5 in, not tonight, to maybe put one in now and tomorrow, and the rest in tomorrow. But may have to do some cutting or adding bits of pole so that they all even up. So that was a bit silly, but shouldn't be a huge difference. It might not matter, but we'll find out when they're all in.
We're gonna get out and play in the garden. There's plenty to do, but we're not gonna work too.
Just started, it's Wednesday morning, that'll be day 45, and I'm hoping to put the last of the 5 foundation tubes in on side B over here. So yesterday I discovered that my levelling was a bit out, or very out, about 10 centimetres. Basically, when we put the 10 tubes down side A, the first side, we didn't get them all level. I think we were trying to get them at the same point above the ground in each hole, but we hadn't got a level line, so they're all a bit up and down, which means when I'm now putting the side B poles in, they're also a bit up and down, which originally I was thinking it was important to make sure that the opposite poles were on the same level. But if you've got different heights for each hoop, that is going to create potentially more problems. Well, basically they're both important, and I was only looking at the level across rather than the level down the tunnel. So I'm now trying to work out the line to use for the remaining 5 poles, so that those hoops are as in line with the previous hoops in that line, and also level with the other side. That probably doesn't make much sense, which is why it's doing my head in. I'm quite confused. I sort of know what I have to do, but I'm not quite sure of the best way to get there. Luckily I've got this laser level. I've got this board, which, if you can see, that is actually A10 and B10 are a similar height, but this is B1 and that's A1, so the difference between top and the bottom of side B and the top and the bottom of side A is quite different, and then goes A1, A3, A2, A3, A4, A5, A10, A7, so they're all up and down, which means if I level these off there, they're going to be up and down as well, whereas actually I want them to be straight. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting day. Hello, It's Wednesday afternoon, the 7th of March. This is a significant moment because this is the last plate, last hole to be done. I spent about 3 hours this morning trying to get these last ones level. Couldn't make up my mind whether I should make them level with each other or make them level with the other side. Anyway, I've gone for a level with each other. Don't want to spend too much time talking, but once we get this in, then I can start assembling the hoops to see if they're all level.
And we're gonna have some fun with all our friends. Come on, let's grow, do it. Everybody get up, get going, get outside and get into it. Yeah, we're gonna work it out as we go, cause we've got so much food to grow, so we can share it round with all our friends.
Good evening. It's the evening of Wednesday, and as you can see, me and Colin have put up the hoops. This is only temporary, they're not screwed in. They're all a bit crooked because they tend to twist if they're not secured, but that's pretty satisfying. I'm just waiting for a call back from Mark from First Tunnels to ask him if he thinks they're level enough. So the key issue is the apex of the hoops level so that we can put the ridge poles along. If they're not, then it makes it difficult to put the ridge pole up. But the sides seem pretty straight. Bit difficult to tell about the top from down here. A little bit crooked up the end there, but it's good to see it up. Glad that the holes are done. Just gonna fill these last ones in. So the polytunnel went up and now it's gone down again. I just had to put the hoops up to check whether they were level, and after speaking to Mark, he thinks they are. So I'm now going to put it away because I'm not here for a couple of days, and then I'll bring it all out again and put it up, and hopefully it will go up nice and straight. It's a beautiful evening, so nice to be here when it's sunny and not windy. A little bit warm. Rolled my sleeves up earlier, which I haven't done for some months, and I'm just about to pick a small amount of salad leaves for the shop, and then it's time to go home. Bye. You can just see some tulips coming up. Finally, they have reached the surface. I saw a video recently with Connor Crickmore talking about covers like this, saying that he didn't use them anything that was susceptible to pests. He grew inside in the polytunnel, and I have to tend to agree because there's such a hassle to get into harvest stuff from. I guess they are useful, but the time spent fiddling around with them, maybe it's not worth it. Something to think about. Goodbye.